Hey, this is Darren LaCroix, and you are in my office, and it's the day before a keynote speech. When I have a keynote speech, every speaker is different, but here's my process. The few days before, I focus totally on that. I do catch up on emails if I need to, but then it's all about the client. And you notice here on my desk, I have a lot of papers laid out. And these are my notes, my printouts. I have probably 40-50 pages of printouts. Some I do research and I go to the company website, I go to the association website, but also the individuals that I interview. I want to see the language that they use. And then I have my templates that I want to fill in the blank that relate to them using their key terms and phrases. I also write out notes. I interview people ahead of time, and you notice there are some highlights. So what I actually do, my process, what works for me, is I'll actually take my notes and I'll review them just before I go to bed, so my brain is still thinking about it and seeing ways to tie in. A lot of times when associations bring us in, they want to make sure that the message matches the audience. So a lot of times it's our job to kind of bridge that gap. Even though we have our presentation, our stories, we know it works, they need us to kind of make the switch for them and make sure we're transitioning so they can get it and see how it relates to them. Because remember, we've done our presentation over and over and over again. They're hearing it for the very first time. So even though emotionally some things may relate to them, we want to make sure they get everything and that we create that connection. This particular client was concerned, or some of them that I spoke to was concerned, that they felt that some people come in and speak and they're unqualified because they're outside of the industry. So I got to make sure I convince them that I do my homework. And I do that by just talking to them ahead of time. And you'll probably see a clip of that. But I have my Fripp keynote speech outline that I go by. I printed out some of the things on their website, like words that they use that are buzzwords that we must remove from their resume because they're recruiters. So you see that there's a lot behind a keynote speech. It's not a 1-hour process. Not if it's good and not if it's about them. Any hiring managers?
Hi, I'm Wandtke. I'm the event planner for the NAPS conference. We were lucky enough to have Darren LaCroix as our opening keynote speaker, and boy did he rock the house. It was inspirational, motivational. It was a great way to start the conference. It set the tone. I highly recommend Darren for your next conference.
Hey, I'm Joan Kelbel, and I just attended the NAPS conference, and Darren LaCroix was awesome. He did background on our industry. He learned the different techniques, different things that we were all about, and he delivered that information back to us, and he was just phenomenal. You've got to see him.
Hi, this is John Sacerdote. I am the president of the National Association of Personnel Services, and we just had Darren as our keynote speaker. And let me tell you, he spoke for probably an hour and 15 minutes, but he did about 10 times that in research. Not only did he pick on people in the audience, but he actually had our terminology down and all kinds of things that were very appropriate to this industry. Have him back is an understatement. I'd love to do it. It was well worth the time. And we had people in the audience dying, and that means including me, because at one point he came over and attacked me during the presentation. So it was a wonderful thing. It really set off the tone for the next 3 days, and it was just a wonderful presentation. And I hadn't seen that many people laugh that late in the afternoon at an event like this in a long time. So we were delightfully pleased. So would I recommend him? Oh yeah.
So we need to take the time and do our homework in order to create that all-important connection for our keynote.